Continuing. So, what might we be able to do today to safeguard our future in case of a global catastrophe and collapse of civilization? There's a larger community of people around the world, and in particular in the U.S. You heard that. There's a large community of people around the world, and in particular the U.S., who take the possibility of a apocalypse during their lifetime very seriously. Such preppers or survivalists, and take time to wonder about that. Like a lot of them people kind of know some of the things that us Akim and the truth know. You know what I mean? They know about the corruption of the government. You know, they know about a lot of different things. So therefore, that's why they. What would make you think that? Why would a person just automatically, have a storage area with, you know, food to last if an event happened? You know what I mean? Like, you got some people that just, think, chess players that think steps ahead. But come on, man. I mean, like, you got to remember, I remember growing up with my dad, and most people at the time when I was coming up, I would go over friends' houses. Most people would have canned goods on deck. Nowadays, a lot of people don't shop like that. Like, literally, I see that. You know what I mean? My children's mother wasn't doing it. I don't really do it like that, but I don't do it for a reason. Just like, I walk a different walk being in this truth. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, you can have all the food, and if the Most High don't deem for you to eat, you, like you said, motherfucker might bash you in the head with your can of food. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, I'm walking by faith. But my point being, like, I remember coming up, we used to go to the grocery store. We might not never touch that shit, but we have all our cabinets full with canned foods and whatnot. So, you know what I'm saying? It's just different now. Salakia. It said, I'm going to reread it. Who take the possibility of a collapse during their lifetime very seriously. Such preppers or survivalists stockpile vital consumables such as canned foods, bottled water, and medicines, as well as weapons for self defense. But what about the knowledge you need to begin making and doing everything for yourself once again after industrialized civilization has disappeared? Oh yeah, and this is good, like I said, because Esau is probably coming up with a method. It ain't probably. That's why you got that cloud and shit. They gonna have a means because they think that they know something gonna happen, but they want a means to. That's why you got that cloud to store all this data and shit. Uh, the most crucial scientific understanding and technological know-how has taken us centuries to accumulate over history. How could we preserve this kernel of human knowledge for posterity in case the reset button is ever pushed and everything not saved will be lost? How can we help the survivors avoid another dark age full of shit? Because the dark age wasn't in a time when we just were technologically fucked up. To show you how much the devil, how much Esau is truly the devil, just lying. The dark ages, when you go into that time, that's when you, like, I literally, but it makes sense. Not to digress, I just want to say this much. Like, when you go into that movie Robin Hood, I always try to figure that out. Like, well, damn, hold on. You know, the dude, Morgan Freeman, right? He played that part. Now, mind you, wasn't no other black people. You always usually, most movies is like that with Esau movies. You see all these Edomites, you read there to be the one or two Jakes. So it was like that, but then in that movie, the difference was they gave, Morgan Freeman's character a lot of respect. You know what I'm saying? I'm like that. And it's another movie with Morgan Freeman playing. Now, I want to, matter of fact, Lord willing, the spirit on me, I'm going to try and look it up and then I'll put it in post production note. Where Morgan Freeman was a king. He was a king, and the one guy, I do not know this guy's fucking name, but he played in a few different movies. The movie that's coming to mind right now is that Sin City, where it was the one storyline where it was the dude and he was helping the females that lived in the part of town where they was selling, where they was prostituting, and he was helping them to kill the police officer and go to war with the people. And remember, it was the Japanese chick that could kill you with the sword. That guy, whoever that guy is, he playing a movie with Morgan Freeman. And Morgan Freeman was a king, and this was supposed to be around the Dark Ages. Like I say, that show you how much, because the Dark Ages wasn't when we didn't know how to do anything or didn't have any technology. It was when we was in rulership. You know, that's the beautiful thing, and that's how you notice the end of the days because of the fact, you know, like I'm about to try and download a lot of those icons of us in power. You know what I mean? Like I got that book, the Negro Question, and it was showing how like that one picture where it's kings, it's the king, queen, and I guess the prince or one of the children. I don't know if it's a man or woman, but you can see them in the castle, and then you can see the soldiers around the castle fighting Edomites. Uh, it says, how can we help the survivors avoid another dark age and recover as rapidly as possible to rebuild civilization from scratch? Nowadays, there's a vast trove of information available online, from encyclopedias to YouTube, but these websites are all hosted on the internet, which, although originally conceived as a robust military communications network in case of a nuclear strike, which that's what I read, would still evaporate as soon as the grid went down after an apocalypse and servers were starved of electrical power. Although there is a tongue-in-cheek entry on Wikipedia for a terminal event management policy that explains how to rapidly print the online encyclopedia to physical media in case of an impending global catastrophe. However, the contents of Wikipedia are not structured in any sort of logical progression like a textbook, nor do they contain much practical information. Ideally, to help future generations in case of an apocalypse, we'd want to compile some kind of total book or library of volumes that preserves the most useful information. Unlike a DVD computer database, a book doesn't require any technology beyond your own eyes to be able to access the contents of writings and images. James Lovelock, who developed the Gaia hypothesis of the whole Earth as a self-regulating system, wrote an article in 1998 laminating the fact that we have no permanent, ubiquitous record of our civilization from which to restore it should it should it fail. He described his conception for a book for all seasons like a complete school science textbook furnished with practical information. That's really not shit. I mean, like I said, I guess they are trying to come up with a system. Well, no, it's a different, lot of little different things they're trying to do. Like I say, the whole Earth catalog and founder of Wired. Well, it says Kevin Kelley, a former editor of the whole Earth catalog and founder of Wired magazine, has also just suggested a forever book or a library of utility, a remote mountaintop vault. Okay, a remote mountaintop vault of perhaps 10,000 books that collectively stores the essential knowledge required to recreate the infrastructure and technology of civilization. The Long Now Foundation is an organized. Can you realize the pride of some shit? You know what I'm saying? And you don't think this motherfucker is the devil? Because basically it's saying in the scripture, like when you go into Isaiah, you know, or Ezekiel, you know how his pride. If the Most High is, you know what I'm saying, doing all this devastation, you know what I'm saying, like Most High send a storm and knock down your fucking house. You know what I mean? Like, you know what? That show you how people really don't pay attention or give a fuck. Like you said, well, and it's not surprising that's that spirit that the Most High put on these people. And then, I mean, like the one brother, Men of Valor, he constantly bring it up. He said people completely forgot, the government was just shut down. That show you the pride of people. They completely forget about that. They were scared. Oh my God, what the fuck I'm gonna do when that shit was cut down? I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna say I was scared. It was what it was. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I had just got off the street. I'm like, oh man, I'm about to get back out there. But you know what? I literally, and Lord know I'm Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shah is my witness. He know my heart. I said at the end of the day, I can't even be mad if he put me back out there because he got me out there. He loved me enough to get me out the street that much. You know what I'm saying? Just to have a peace of mind out there. Because when you out there amongst that shit, I mean, like I'm constantly amongst demons. You know what I mean? Like that's not for everybody. You know what I mean? Not trying to be prideful. I mean, or puff myself up. I just know I'm not the same guy when I first got out there or when I was out there or nothing. Like I'm not the same. Well, I'm a changed person anyway when I came in this truth. But my point being that because you constantly dealing with demons. Even, I remember one day I watched dudes, I was drinking out there, I drink. It ain't it's lawful to still drink. One day I'm sitting out there and, it was a couple 2/3 guys. I sit up there. But, majority of the time, if I talk to anybody, I'm telling them about the scriptures. It was a couple 2/3 guys that I might sit and be around. Because, like I said, I ain't going to go into detail of how that was like that. But my point being, one day, we sitting out there having a beer. I'm drinking a beer. There's a few guys over here and over there. It's like a little park type place where we all might congregate. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And one day, I'm talking to a guy I know. He run off. He go talk to another guy. I'm just observing everything. One day, everybody just start pulling out their hooters. They about to get high. I say, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? They really stuck me because I'm like, I've talked to some of these people in passing, some of these people I've never talked to. But this particular day, it was meant for me to see that though. I'm talking about everybody pulled out one. I'm like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? So, all them people got demons on them. Shit. And brothers in this truth know how demons can jump on. And that's a spirit because I was just listening to Apostle Tahar. He was saying how, and the crazy part is I used to wonder, was it like a video where they say, different, because I was curious as what was the best prayers to use in spiritual warfare. And he said, he kept on repeating it. He was like, I can't give you no list of prayers. You know what I mean? He's like, because at the end of the day, a demon might hit you with, oh yeah, he don't really believe. If you really believe, that's just like with learning this Hebrew. If the Hebrew got the power, it's more powerful than this bastard tongue, you know what I'm saying? You would put the energy into learning it, you know what I'm saying? With enough sincerity and faith, it ain't even got to be the Lord's Prayer or Norton Prayer or any. You want to use a Norton Prayer, I assume. Maybe before you go to battle, but at that time. But just something that's please, Baba Kasha, Yahweh Shai, like protect me from, something simple with enough belief. What's the scripture say? Faith of a mustard seed, Salaki, mustard seed can move a mountain. So, but I get what he was saying. He was saying because if these demons know, you know what I'm saying? Have you people even really sincerely watched some of these movies with the Exorcist? Like the Exorcist with Emily Rose. You know what I mean? Like that priest was getting his ass whooped. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, you gotta remember that priest lost that. He lost a life. Luckily he walked away without getting fucked up too bad. You know what I'm saying? But who's to say how he got touched? You know what I mean? But these things are real. I'm bouncing around. I am gonna try and finish this though. So basically, they want to come up with like some system to try and hold on to the most influential knowledge and things that'll help you rebuild civilization. Let me keep on reading. Listen, this one, this kind of funny because I fuck with Kindle a little bit. However, although they can be read easily, paper books have their own problems. Paper rots and disintegrates if it gets damp and is also readily inflammable. It will also be a major undertaking to construct enough hardened doomsday libraries around the world. And that's deep. They want to make little doomsday libraries around the world to be useful for dispersed groups of survivors. But with modern technology, these seeds for rebuilding civilization could be encapsulated in a much more compact format. With a Kindle or other e-reader, you can hold 10,000 books. True enough, but take the time to think about this. What if you ain't got no power source to keep the Kindle powered? You know what I mean? Yeah. So show you how stupid Esau really is, though. An entire library of knowledge. Now, true enough, you might have all this knowledge. That's just like, for instance, like brothers, when I was on the street and, I used to save a lot of the brothers' videos, you know what I mean? Walk around with that bag. I'm living like Book of Eli. That helped me. I think I want to contribute that to one of the factors of how I got through that. at the end of the day, because I constantly stay listening to videos. You know what I mean? That's probably why them demons didn't. So I didn't succumb to the demons. At the end of the day, though, it's not easy. I mean, like I used to have to go sit in the bus terminals and charge my phone. Like, just imagine when you ain't got no power source at all, or you don't know any. It's laws to electricity, of course. So just like Esau didn't create shit. He discovered certain things. Like math wasn't something Esau created. I've heard supposed to be educated people say that dumbass shit. Math, if that's the case, then how the fuck the Babylonians knew math? These is universal principles that Esau discovered. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, Esau didn't really, you know, accomplish shit except for destruction. That's his gift, to destroy. He the red fucking horse. Uh, but like I said, you can have all these digital libraries. Like I said, like I used to was doing that. Like I got a couple SD cards now, and to show you how the Most High doesn't want that. Like I came across and found the Kindle. That's why I find this hilarious. I found the Kindle. You know what I'm saying? And I had an SD card like 64 gigabyte. And long story short, I ended up fucking up the SD card. So it was like the Most High God blessed me. I did it too. I can't say it was a demon or nothing, but I had a dream about it prior to it. But the way it happened, I didn't understand it. And so it's like I prophesied it, you know. Anyhow, but he also blessed me because it was a particular book, like that book, The African Presence in Early Europe by Ivan Van Sertima. Um, it's hard to get that on PDF. You know what I mean? And if you looked at the price of it, they don't want to give up that book. They $700-800 or some shit like that. So I always go. I know a library that got it. I was gonna steal it, but then at the same, because I know a lot of jakes where this library at is not. This book is now gonna be read by our people, especially what library it is. It's in an area where nothing but black knowledge. It's like a little black section, but it's the library is in a black community, but the spirit that he got on everybody. But I won't steal it because who's to say, you know, a brother said something deep. He said at the end of the day, like, you got to be careful who you cussing out and whatnot, because it says in scripture, don't offend none of these little ones. At the end of the day, you don't know who that person could be. He could be of the elect, you know what I'm saying? And the Most High might just ain't popped him and got him straight or chastised him too. Because when the Most High get a hold of your ass, and if you are the elect, you're going to do this. You know what I'm saying? But long story short, I found it on PDF. So although I lost all that information, I can't even remember what was all on it. I know some of my children's pictures is on it. It's just at the end of the day, that's about the fourth time it happened, and I know it's demons, but I also know, with much knowledge is much sorrow. You know what I'm saying? So, and also that you gotta actually ingest this stuff. You know what I mean? The main thing is to, eat them scrolls and get them scriptures in you, because in the time of Jacob's trouble, you ain't gonna have time for no Kindle, no fucking cell phone. You ain't gonna want these cell phones. They all got trackers on them. The Kindle that I found, and I think that's the new thing now, like it's ways around certain shit, but this shit's so cold how Amazon got that shit going. You can't do nothing except for going through the, like, you got to sign up with your Google account to access anything. And then, like, you automatically linked in with Amazon to buy shit. You got to actually download and add extra files to get the Play Store to get free apps. Now, don't get me wrong, it's on the Android. I mean, just so to show you how they already programming you to actually just have to be there to deal with them. So just imagine how that shit gonna be with the chip. Uh, but yeah, it can store a lot of knowledge. But like I said, at the same time, I mean, without no power or charge, how the fuck you gonna look at it? The problem here is that when the apocalypse comes and the grid goes down, right, I just said it. That's a spirit. You won't be able to simply plug your device into a wall to recharge. You'd experience the exasperation of having the wealth of human knowledge at your fingertips, but with no way of accessing it. So to solve this, I hacked for myself an apocalypse-proof Kindle, a device loaded with all the knowledge you'll need to reboot civilization, a ruggedized case with integrated solar panels wired into it. That's deep. You now have an entire library of practical knowledge in a portable format, and when the batteries run low, you simply leave it in the sun to recharge. That's a smart ass idea. See, he sort of, because that would work. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you got to show you how fucked up shit is for real. Like, say, they talk about that solar power panel shit, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you got a lot of play. In the city that I just named about that library, they use solar panels to, charge for whatever they use it to power, but it's for the city. You know what I'm saying? Certain, like, you got a place I used to work at, this welder place, and you got a leak in the electric down the street from it. And leaked electric, they got the big windmill. So that's pretty much it, though. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Uh, so at the end of the day, you see how Esau's mindset is, though. I'm gonna get that scripture before I end this lesson. So, Salakia. So continue. So as you can see, Esau believes that his house is just ain't gonna never, his house is gonna go on forever, and they're gonna just rule the planet forever. This Psalm 49 and 11, their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to call generations, meaning they lines, they lineage. They call their lands after their own names. Who is the people that got these lands named after their own names? And when you go into history, you look at Hannibal and Leo Scipius Africanus. You know what I mean? I tell some dudes that and they look at you like you're stupid, but motherfuckers don't want to do research nothing. It's in the book of Proverbs. It says king searches out a matter. You know what I mean? I think it's in. I just was reading it today too. I ain't about to get it though. It's for a king to search out a matter though. A king. That's why we got a brother in the camp that always calls us kings, and we are. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, I'm gonna get it because that's the spirit. Because at the end of the day, you know, and rightly so. Because at the end of the day, with this truth, it takes work. You know what I mean? You're gonna have to. You're gonna have to do like Esau did and complete a diligent search. You know what I mean? Because you know. God, it's Proverbs 25 and verse 2. It is the glory of Yahweh to conceal a thing. So things are a mystery upon the Most High. And, like they were basically, that's the spirit. We was in camp Sunday, and, they said, certain things like when people, leave the physical realm and like maybe have an outer body experience or a near death experience, and they see certain things, but they can't tell you everything. They can tell you certain things. Even Paul said that. I believe that's in 2 Corinthians chapter 12. You know what I mean? He said he couldn't utter. I'm not gonna get it. But he couldn't basically tell you the all. It's like when he said he was called up to the third heaven. When he was stoned. But it says Proverbs 25 and 2. It is the glory of Yahweh to conceal a thing. So this thing is a mystery, and you, but onto the prophets, his secrets are revealed. But it says, but the honor of a king is to search out a matter. So you supposed to apply diligent search, especially in this knowledge. You know what I mean? And his wisdom and his understanding. That's why it's beautiful how the elders do it. Like I said, they give you it, but at the same time, you got to also work for this thing too. You can read scriptures all day. That's why you got to, or you can read scriptures when you with the brothers. You got to constantly continue to keep doing this, keep this up, because the Most High can give it to you and take it away from you. I mean, come on, you got to remember that. I mean, like, I ain't been in this thing that long, but you hear about guys that been in the truth for 5, 10 years. Come on, they talk about back in 2000 when all them dudes went back in the world, because they said it was a mass amount of people that went back in the world. But you don't know how long them dudes was in there. You got to remember, this truth been around since, Abba Bivens, since the 70s, you know what I'm saying? Just imagine, dude gave it 20 years, it did. So that made the Most High took that spirit from him. So, like I was telling brothers, at the end of the day, that should be one of your prayers, not just for mercy for your family and to watch over and protect you and the Akim, but that the Most High don't take His truth from you. I know that's one of mine. So with that, but Salakia for that. But at the end of the day, even though Esau has that vain imagination that the Most High, that their house is gonna dwell forever, or that they gonna actually they kind of come up with contingency plans to avoid losing their kingdom or gaining it again. That's why they got them bunkers and trying to do the space that shit with Richard Branson and that space flight shit. Because best believe, you know, it's more shit going on, but they only could do so much. They only could do what the Most High allow. At the end of the day, it's all for naught. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, your time is coming. The Most High is the ruler in the kingdoms of man. You know what I mean? So with that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rachakodas Bakatah. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the Akim around the four corners of the earth, pushing the truth with faith and sincerity, and risking their lives and freedom to do so. Shalom to the hopeful elect, as well as the Akwath and Akim out there listening and learning. Shalom to the confusion of faith brethren, join unto our ranks. Shalom to all the sincere brethren. And with that, Lord willing, this is edifying, and I'm able to come at you with another lesson as soon as possible. And shalom, shalom, and abad babal.